Have you ever come across a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin and just tossed it aside, thinking it's not worth much? Well, that little coin might just flip your fortune. Some people are unknowingly sitting on coins that collectors would pay big money for. So, if you've got this coin, stick around till the end of this video, because what we're about to discuss might just turn the tables for you. And at the end, I'll tell you exactly how you can check its value and even sell it. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's start with a little background. The Susan B. Anthony dollar coin was first minted in 1979. It was a big deal, the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical woman, Susan B. Anthony, a pioneer of women's rights. That alone makes this coin historically significant. But the original design had some issues. The coin was roughly the same size and color as a quarter, which led to confusion in daily transactions. People didn't like it, and by 1981, production stopped. Fast forward almost 2 decades, and in 1999, the U.S. Mint brought it back. Why? There was a sudden demand for dollar coins, particularly from public transit systems and vending machine operators. The government needed a quick solution before the Sacagawea dollar was introduced in 2000, so they reissued the SBA dollar for one final year. So that makes 1999 the last and final year the Susan B. Anthony dollar was ever minted. And whenever something is a last edition, collectors start to pay close attention. There are 3 versions of the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar. 1999p, minted in Philadelphia. 1999d, minted in Denver. 1999p proof, minted in San Francisco, but only for collectors. Now here's the thing, the regular 1999p and 1999d coins were made for circulation. You could find them in change or bank rolls. But the 1999p proof, that one was never released into circulation. It was made for special collector sets only. And because of that, the proof coins are often in near-perfect condition. Combine that with limited production numbers, and you've got a coin that collectors are actively seeking. Now let's talk about what makes a 1999 SBA dollar valuable. First, condition. If your coin is beat up or heavily circulated, it probably won't fetch much more than face value. But if it's in brilliant uncirculated condition, or even better if it's been graded MS66, MS67, or MS68 by a professional grading service, the value can jump significantly. Second, mint mark. Proof coins from San Francisco are usually worth more due to their rarity and quality. Even uncirculated coins from Philadelphia or Denver can be valuable if they're in high grades. Third, error coins. Here's where it gets interesting. Some 1999 SBA dollars have minting errors like off-center strikes, wrong planchet, or doubled dies. These rare mistakes can boost a coin's value from a few dollars to hundreds, even thousands in some rare cases. So don't just glance at your coin, look closely. A small error could mean a big payday. But here's the catch: values can change frequently depending on market trends, collector demand, and auction results. Which is why it's important not to assume always get an updated price. Now, if you're thinking about selling your 1999 Susan B. Anthony coin, you might be wondering, where do I sell it? Should I get it graded first? Is eBay the best option? What if it's an error coin? And I've got answers. But I'm not going to give them all away right now. But here's the deal, if you really want to know the current value of your coin and how you can sell it for maximum profit, then drop a comment below with 1999 SBA price, and I'll reply with the latest value and the selling procedure step by step. When you do, I'll personally reply with the latest value based on your coin's condition, whether or not it's worth grading, and the step-by-step method to sell it for maximum value. Where the reverse side of the Bicentennial quarter features a colonial drummer with a torch encircled by 13 stars in the background. This design was created by Jack L.R., whose initials appear just below the drummer's left arm. And if you've ever noticed the dual date 1776 to 1976 on the front where the regular year normally goes, that's another mark that this coin is not your everyday pocket change. Now, millions, yes, hundreds of millions of these quarters were minted, and that has led many people to believe they're not rare or valuable. But that's only half the truth. While it's true that these coins were widely circulated, certain varieties and conditions have made some of them highly collectible. That's what separates a 25-cent coin from one that can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars online. Let's talk about the different types of bicentennial quarters you might come across. First, there are the standard circulation strikes that were minted at Philadelphia and Denver. These will have no mint mark or a D on the obverse, respectively. Then, there are proof and silver-clad versions that were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Coins from this mint have an S mark, and many of them were made for collectors, not circulation. Here's the kicker. The San Francisco Mint released both copper-nickel-clad proof coins and 40% silver-clad coins. If you have one of these silver-clad coins, even in circulated condition, it could be worth several dollars. In uncirculated or proof condition, the value climbs dramatically. But even within these general categories, the real gems are error coins, coins in exceptional condition, and those with special finishes. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins with errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes can make a bicentennial quarter significantly more valuable. For example, a double die obverse, where the details of George Washington's face and the date are slightly doubled, can be extremely rare. In recent eBay listings, some of these error coins have sold for over $500, and a few have crossed the $1,000 mark. That's a huge leap from 25 cents, isn't it? Then there's the matter of condition. A coin's grade, ranging from good all the way up to mint state 70, plays a major role in determining its value. A bicentennial quarter graded MS65 or higher by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC can command a premium price. There are examples on eBay of MS67 and MS68 graded coins selling for $100, $300, or even more, depending on demand and condition. Coins that look like they just came out of the mint, with no scratches, no wear, and full luster, are considered the cream of the crop. If you're holding on to a silver-proof bicentennial quarter with a mirror-like finish and no damage, congratulations, you already have something special. But if it's also graded by a top service and comes with certification, its value increases significantly. The silver content alone gives it intrinsic value, but the collector appeal adds another layer of worth. Now, let's talk about what kind of prices we're actually seeing on eBay today. A quick check reveals some real surprises. A 40% silver-proof bicentennial quarter in a graded slab by PCGS recently sold for $85. Another auction had a raw uncirculated silver quarter go for over $40. But the real standouts are the error coins, especially the double die and off-center strikes. One listed as a double die reverse with clear doubling on the drummer and torch area fetched $1,300 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $1,300. And while some of these listings might seem like outliers, there's consistent evidence of bicentennial quarters selling for $20, $50, $100 and more, particularly when they're silver, proof, or contain noticeable mint errors. Even raw coins, meaning ungraded, can sell for a premium if the photos are clear and the condition is visibly strong. You might be wondering how to tell if your coin is silver or not. One simple method is to look at the edge of the coin. If you see a copper-colored strip along the side, then it's not silver, it's the standard copper-nickel clad. But if the edge looks uniformly silver or has a slightly darker tone with no copper color, it might be a 40% silver version. Still, for full confirmation, you may want to weigh the coin or have it tested by a professional. It's also worth noting that not all silver bicentennial quarters are valuable just because they're silver. Many of them were collected and preserved, so their condition matters just as much as their metal content. A worn-out silver coin might still be worth more than face value, but collectors are really looking for coins in pristine condition. Another thing that makes these coins fascinating is the history behind them. The U.S. Mint launched the Bicentennial redesign not just for the quarter but also for the half-dollar and dollar coins. All three featured unique reverse designs celebrating the 200th anniversary of the country's founding. It was a major national event and the coinage was one way the nation marked the occasion. That's why these coins still carry sentimental value, even for people who aren't serious collectors. Many people who own these coins today don't even realize their potential value. They're sitting in coin jars, drawers, or inherited collections. Some are even being spent at face value in stores, simply because people don't know what they have. And that's where the opportunity lies. If you're smart about identifying and preserving these coins, they can become an unexpected source of income or even the start of a larger coin collection hobby. Now imagine you stumble upon a small collection of these coins, maybe in a family member's belongings or at a garage sale. With the right knowledge, you could easily spot which ones have real value and which ones are more common. The average person might pass over a bicentennial quarter without a second thought. But you now know better. And what if you're ready to sell? Well, selling a coin like this isn't as simple as just listing it online. You'll need to take clear, high-resolution photos showing both sides of the coin. Make sure the lighting is good and the coin is clean, though be very careful not to damage it by cleaning it too aggressively. Use a soft cloth or gloves when handling, and avoid fingerprints at all costs. When listing it online, be sure to mention any distinguishing features, proof status, mint mark, condition, and especially any errors. If your coin is graded by a reputable service, include the certification number and grading details. This gives buyers confidence and often results in a higher sale price. Online marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, or numismatic forums are great places to sell. But always research similar listings and final sale prices before setting your own price. There's no point in underselling a valuable coin, and you don't want to overprice and have it sit for months either. Finding the sweet spot is key. Also consider taking your coin to a local coin dealer or coin show, especially if it's a high-grade or rare variety. Dealers can offer you immediate cash, though often at slightly lower prices than what you'd get selling directly online. It all depends on your priorities, speed versus maximum profit. Before we wrap up, it's important to stress one thing: not every bicentennial quarter is a gold mine. But with the right features, silver content, pristine condition, grading, or errors, they can be worth much more than their face value. Knowledge is power in this game, and now you've got the knowledge. So, here's what you can do next. Take out your old coins and start sorting through them. Look for the 1776 to 1976 date. Check the edges for silver. Look closely at the drummer and the torch. Do you notice any doubling? If the coin looks unusually well preserved, it might be worth grading. And if you think you've got something valuable, don't rush to sell it. Take your time, do your research, and consider all your options. Now, as we said in the beginning, this little coin could turn the tables for you. If you've got a bicentennial Washington quarter that matches any of the descriptions we talked about, you might be holding something that's worth a lot more than you ever expected. Comment the exact details of your coin down below: mint mark, condition, and if it has any visible errors. I'll reply with an estimate of its current worth and the best way you can sell it to get the most value. Don't miss this chance. That quarter in your pocket might just change your fortune.